I wish I were never born. But I'm happy I'm alive. Let's explain my view on life via an example, in case that was confusing. Let's say I invite you to play a game. Now, the only details you have about my game are the instructions will be unclear. Success will be subjective. You don't know how to win my game. And once you enter my game, you can never leave. It's a trap. That's how I view life. We are forced into this bittersweet adventure called life with no say over our brain chemistry, our environment, our parents. And then people say, go be happy. What the fuck do you mean, go be happy? How am I supposed to be happy when I don't know how to play the game? If we're lucky, we come across a mentor, a pastor, a teacher, family member, friend, who points us in the right direction before we ruin our lives. But that's what I mean when I say I wish I were never born. But I'm happy I'm alive now. It's also my perspective on how parents should approach the mental health of their children or loved ones. Okay, I definitely have some form of autism, and I probably have one of these more severe types of bipolar disorder. Yeah, I'm not mad about that. I'm just really good at a lot of shit as a result of my brain being a little fucked. But it's important that I understand the weaknesses that go along with the mental health disorders I likely have, so I don't end up in prison. And that's why I'm so passionate about advocacy for mental health, especially for prisoners struggling with mental health. Because, hey, prison isn't fun. And sometimes really good people end up in prison due to bad luck, bad circumstances, or a judge being an asshole. In fact, when COVID was at its getting to its worst around last June, July, August-ish, I was going through a really, really bad situation with corporate America doing some mean stuff to me. My parents' dog, my brother, his name was Yachty, was dying, and he died around October. And that was real sad for me because I like dogs and I love Yachty. And I ended up on some prescribed antidepressant medication because my mom didn't know when to back off. I love my mom. She didn't know when to back off. The medication combined with the stress and Walmart corporate's torture of its people resulted in me lying on my parents' bathroom floor, collapsed, naked, almost paralyzed. And because the economy didn't look real bright, I got up and went to work the next day, still hurting. And then once I realized I'd trained my own replacement and gone and all that crap, fortunately I got a leave of absence submitted in time, so I had continued income for my previously well-paying job. Otherwise, I'm stranded in a really nice fit-in with the Jones house in Rogers, Arkansas, with no way to pay for it. My ex-girlfriend was not super happy with the situation. I don't blame her. My family was frustrated with me because they don't understand immigration laws. And I could very well be in prison for driving off the road out of exhaustion after Walmart corporate worked me to death and then was gonna fire me. Now, fortunately, I had enough money saved up where I spent almost all of it in a hotel room because my logic was, even if I have no money after this stay in the hotel, at least COVID might be over, which it's not. The presidential election will be wrapped up, so the world might be a little calmer. And then at least I haven't ruined my life. Even if I spend all my money, it's better than prison. But had I been born in an environment where I was not a white male, although it's looking like the white male is gonna get really stomped on in the coming decades, that's okay. Or if I'd have grown up in a situation where my parents were not involved, or where I didn't have access to mental health care during college, I'm for sure in prison. I'd be sitting right there with all the other bipolar folks and we'd get along just fine. But I'd prefer to not be in prison. That's why I want to go spend a lot of my remaining years with prisoners. Because they're brilliant people. They're brilliant, kind people usually. And in my opinion, some Fortune 500 CEOs are inmates who got lucky. And prisoners, those mean convicts that just are scum to society, well, they're the kindest people you could possibly imagine on this planet. And they got unlucky. If I ever hear the words self-made come out of another human's mouth, I will dedicate a 2-hour podcast. Put in a week's preparation to researching that human's life and background. And I will pick apart every single time in that person's life he or she got lucky as shit. And I'll blast them on my podcast. I'm sick of this self-made macho bullshit. Joe Biden got lucky. The Macmillan Walmart CEO got very lucky. I got lucky. If I don't get that leave of absence approved through my psychologist for emotional distress, I could very well be in prison. With the loneliness of COVID, the uncertainty, the strain, going off some medication at the wrong time, because my heart was racing so bad. Explode. Maybe I can learn to cope with the mental stress. There's a lot of factors. I got lucky. I'll never say I'm self-made because I'm certainly not. I'm a struggling entrepreneur that caught a lot of breaks to even be at this level. Know of anything to add, babe, to this short rant? You're so pretty. So I'll leave you with this. She's gonna pee real quick. I don't understand the world. I can't prove there is a God. I can't disprove there's a God. I'm an optimistic agnostic at the moment. But regardless of all the world's bullshit, there's never a reason for another human to intentionally be cruel to another human. Ever. All right, let's go walk now.